तो फ्रेंड्स केजी क्लासेस में आपका स्वागत है। आज हम आपको एल्डोस हक्सले 1894 टू 1963 लाइफ एंड वर्क्स। एल्डोस लियोनार्ड हक्सले, द सन ऑफ लियोनार्ड हक्सले एंड द grandson of Thomas Henry Huxley, was the English biologist. He is regarded as the writer of intellectual class. Grandnephew of Matthew Arnold Huxley, was a seer of mankind and its curiosities. He got his education in Eton and Oxford. He was fond of traveling. He was a writer who wrote poetry, short stories, novels, and essays. He studied so much that he had to face the loss of eyesight. In 1919, he married a Belgian girl whose name was Maria Mies. He also proved himself as a remarkable journalist. During this period, the clouds of war affected Europe, so he migrated to America. After the death of his wife in 1955, he remarried Laura Escre in 1956. Later on, he worked as a lecturer in the university and he passed away in 1963. Huxley became famous because of his following works. First, The Warning Wheels, 1916, The Defeat of Youth, 1918, Leda, 1920, Eyelash in Gaza, 1926, Chrome Yellow, 1921, Antec Hoy, 1923, Those Barren Leaves, 1925, Point Counterpoint, 1928, Brave New World, 1932, After Many a Summer, 1939, Time Must Have a Stop, 1944, The Perennial Philosophy, 1946, The Devils of Loudon, 1952. About his boyhood, a critic comments, the facts are these. Huxley was born in 1894, the younger son of Leonard Huxley and Julia Arnold. By birth, he was a member of the intellectual aristocracy of late Victorian England, for his father's father was Thomas Henry Huxley, who defended Darwin's theory of evolution through many stormy years. His master's uncle was Matthew Arnold, whose criticism was a force to reckon with in the world of culture, and his maternal aunt was Mrs. Humphrey Birds, now an almost forgotten novelist, but a writer whose treatment of social problems was one considered both bold and significant. Nor was Huxley uncompassionate by excellence in his own generation. His older brother Julian, born in 1887, grew up to be a famous biologist with incidentally views quite opposed to those of his brother's elders. About his literary achievement of the critic further points out, in such an environment, it is not surprising that Huxley's boyhood should have been a period of forcing. He was exposed to complex ideas and aesthetic experience at a time when most children are meeting the multiplication tables. Huxley's formal education included attendance at Eton, which he left because of a nearly complete blindness of 2 or 3 years duration, and at Balliol College at Oxford, where he took a degree in English literature. The first 2 years of the First World War He spent in college and the second 2 years in such work as he was equal to. After the bar he married, and in 1919 he joined the staff of the English Critical Journal, the Athenaeum, where he learned to write on whatever topic was assigned to him. Huxley regards this experience as having taught him self-confidence. He at one time boasted that he could handle any topic competently. After hours investigation in the British Museum reading room, Huxley was deeply influenced by his contemporaries. They influenced other writers very deeply. The critic further point out he was able to give up journalism when his novels and tales won him a public. Often his essays permit one to see him leading the kind of life he preferred, one of meditative, comfortable travel which he records in such books as Jesting Pilot 1926 and Beyond the Mexique Bay 1934, with many marks of both aesthetic and social sensibility. During the late 1920s, Huxley was often in the company of the novelist and prophet D. H. Lawrence, and during the late 30s he was closely associated with the English theologian and prophet Gerald Heard. Thus his own curiosity and his friendship combined to lead him over the European continent, Lawrence, New Mexico, and most recently to California, where Gerald Heard is an active religious leader. In California, he has been associated intermittently with Hollywood. He collaborated on the scenario for Pride and Prejudice, but it is significant that none of his own novels, with their emphasis on intellectual conflicts and nuance, has been put on the screen. The region of the Pacific Coast may give Huxley material for a satire. After many a summer dies, The Swamp 1936, but as at the outset, so now his chief activity remains the writing of books. A good many years ago, Huxley characterized his mode of life thus: I prefer sunlight to literary company. My creations are reading and traveling in comfort. I rarely like a complete holiday, as I find that my health begins to break down as soon as I stop working. Holidays are helpful only for those who dislike their work. I happen to find mine tolerably agreeable. Such would seem still to be the surface texture of a life, except for religious association with Heard and other persons. The English writers Christopher Isherwood and W. H. Auden are two of these who share Huxley's search for what Heard himself has called the eternal gospel, the essential stock of ideas that Heard and Huxley feel underline all the great religions. Thanks.